A look ahead to programmes this Easter on ITV. On Good Friday, Oliver Reed, Richard Chamberlain and Michael York star in The Three Musketeers.
Sorry.
On Easter Saturday, the action moves to the discos, where John Travolta reigns supreme in Saturday Night Fever.
A trip. A good trip. Feel the music, babe.
If you're game for a laugh, you'll be joining us on Easter Sunday for a very special Easter edition. And also on Easter Sunday, Michael York stars again in the British television premiere of Great Expectations. Highlights for your Easter weekend here on ITV.
See this little Smith Square crisp? All golden, neat, and light. It looks quite innocent, you might suppose. But just you take a bite. The flavor hits you in the mouth, puts tingles up your nose. The crunch sends shivers down your spine and ends up in your toes. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird.
Smith Square Crisps. Eating is believing.
Switch to Michelin, get a grip in the wet. Switch to Michelin, a great ride in the wet. Switch to Michelin, get a grip in the wet. Switch to Michelin, and insist on no other. Switch to Michelin, and insist on...
This is the martini time of day. Martini is anytime, any place, anywhere, because martini is the right one.
Yeah. There are times when one family car just isn't enough for one family. If you find the situation getting on top of you, simply rent a second car from Hertz. It won't make a dent in your wallet. A Ford Fiesta, for example, can be yours the whole weekend from around £28. Wherever you want to go, no one makes renting a car easier than Hertz.
The Whopper, only at Burger King. Aren't you hungry for one now at Burger King?
Well, I've been working hard to reach me target, to earn a few bob to take me down to Margate. The winkles took some chewing, but the rain was nice and warm. On the way to the pub I fell in love, but I don't think much of you. No, I don't reckon you're one. Roll up your trousers. Courage best, mate. Wash out your gills and jelly dills are good for your brain. With courage best, mate, you can keep the Costa Brava. I'm telling you, mate, I'd rather have a pint of Courage Best down Margate in the rain.
Remember a pint of Best. Courage do.
The last story ever told, Whoops, Apocalypse, starts a little earlier than usual at 9:45. This is London Weekend Television, and now we cross the river to ITN for the latest national and international news with Michael Nicholson. The time, 9:35.
IRA kill Ulster policeman as he leaves church. 26 die on El Salvador's election day. 2 National Gallery masterpieces slashed. And why they've said no to Little Legs. Good evening. A senior Ulster policeman was shot dead today in front of his children as he left church. Inspector Norman Duddy, who was 45, is the first full-time RUC man to be murdered this year. The IRA have said they did it. He had just left a Presbyterian church in Londonderry where he was a member of the choir. He was with his 2 teenage sons. As they prepared to drive home, 2 men rode up on a motorcycle and fired through the car window at point-blank range. His sons were unhurt. Inspector Duddy was killed instantly. The shooting happened only 200 yards from Londonderry's main police station where the inspector worked. In El Salvador, the controversial general election has gone ahead despite heavy fighting in which 26 people have been killed today. Left-wing guerrillas attacked polling booths across the country in attempts to disrupt voting. Political groups on the left are boycotting the election because they say their candidates would be attacked by the right. But America's ambassador in El Salvador has called today's poll a major success. He says it'll end the civil war. Guerrilla forces have launched their biggest attack in over a year to coincide with the election, and some of the heaviest fighting was in the center of the capital, San Salvador. The ITN crew with Jon Snow in El Salvador is Alan Downs and Don Warren. In London, 5,000 people marched through the streets in protest at the El Salvador elections. The marchers went past the American embassy denouncing the elections as a fraud aimed at installing a right-wing president. The demonstrators called for an end to American support for El Salvador's military regime.
U.S. aid, free of charge, no strings attached, just a rope around your neck.
In Trafalgar Square, the demonstrators heard the Labour leader, Mr. Michael Foot, describe the elections as a grisly farce and attacked the British government for sending observers there. Argentina has cancelled all Navy leave as tension with Britain over the disputed Falkland Islands grows. Argentina has sent 5 warships into the South Atlantic, and it's thought they may be heading for the disputed Falkland territory of South Georgia. The Ministry of Defence in London say they've sent a scientific research vessel, the John Biscoe, with a party of Marines to replace the garrison of 40 men guarding the islands. The ice patrol ship HMS Endurance is already anchored off the coast of South Georgia with a squad of 12 Marines on board. They were directed there after an Argentine salvage team landed there to dismantle an old whaling station. The men were armed, they raised the Argentine flag and sang their national anthem. 2 paintings worth millions of pounds each have been slashed at the National Gallery. The paintings, a Turner and a Claude, were cut several times, but they can be restored. Turner bequeathed his sun rising through vapour to the gallery when he died in 1851. It measures 4 feet 6 by 6 feet. Claude's The Mill, which is slightly larger, was one of the original works bought when the gallery was founded in 1824. The paintings were hanging together, and an 18-year-old youth has been charged with criminal damage. The Israeli government has said today it had uncovered a plan by the Palestine Liberation Organization for a civil uprising on the occupied West Bank of the Jordan. The Israelis said that widespread disturbances were planned to start in May after Israel had withdrawn from the Sinai. The announcement comes on the day when 3 more Arabs were wounded in clashes with Israeli army patrols. The Israelis say that it was because of their uncovering of the plan that they dismissed 3 West Bank Arab mayors last week. Ian Smith's top sanction buster, who flew supply planes during Rhodesia's years of UDI, has died flying his wartime Spitfire. 62-year-old Jack Mallock flew with the RAF during the war, flew in the Berlin airlift, carried arms and mercenaries into the Congo, and the first food into Biafra. This